I stared at the shape of a man lying on the usually empty side of my bed. He had long legs, so long they were hanging over the end of the bed. Hairy toes poked out from beneath the blankets. I took a step closer, holding my breath. He was buried beneath the sheets except for his gangly toes and a few blonde pokes of hair pricking out from the top. My brain tried to play catch-up with what my eyes were seeing, but Delaney cut in. "Who the hell is he?" She took the words straight out of my mouth. No longer was she that scared little girl I remembered from her youth. She had transitioned back into her usual mood, angry at times and don't give a fuck mostly. "I have no idea, Lainey." It wasn't a lie. Not exactly. I had no recollection of inviting anyone over, but it wasn't the first strange man I'd had in my bed this month. "Nice, Mom, real nice," Delaney groaned. My mind raced, thoughts trickling back to the last thing I remembered. I'd been online again, that stupid dating site. I hadn't wanted a profile in the first place, but Pam and Jerry, my two friends from work, had set the whole thing up for me. Did I invite one of the guys I met online to come over to the house last night? Was I drinking again? Is that why I can't remember? Suddenly, it was starting to make sense. I rarely drank alcohol, not until recently, and not since my early 20s. If I'd had a few beers last night, or even a little wine, then maybe I'd blacked out completely. But a quick scan of the room revealed no empty cans or bottles, no evidence that I'd been drinking at all. How could I be so irresponsible? What the hell was I thinking, inviting a man over with my teenage daughter across the hall? "Go back to bed. I'll wake him up and ask him to leave." When Delaney didn't budge, I raised my voice a few octaves. "You have school in the morning, now go." The hurt expression on her face came and went so quickly, I almost wondered if I'd imagined it. A flutter of guilt rose up. Delaney wasn't a child anymore. I often had to remind myself of that. I shouldn't scold her so harshly. Rather, I should try to talk to her like an equal, I thought regretfully. "Screw you," she huffed, then turned and marched out of the room. The door to my bedroom slammed bitterly behind her. My eyes drifted back to the lumpy man. I'd been expecting him to wake up after Lainey's outburst, but he was still sleeping peacefully. In the silence of my bedroom, I crept over to the window and sat down on my favorite reading bench that overlooked our suburban street. My head felt groggy and strange, and I waited for the details of last night to come into focus. I pressed my head against the window pane and sighed. It was almost morning. The dark mountain ridges in the distance tipped with dusty browns and burgundy reds. How long has it been since I watched the sunrise? When Delaney was young, she'd loved the outdoors, but I'd still been with her father then, Michael. Most of my memories of her early years were corrupted by memories of fights with Michael and sleepless nights as I grieved over Dylan. Here's the thing. When you bring a baby home from the hospital, you're supposed to be happy. It's a miracle that even one of the twins survived, the doctor had told me. At least you have Delaney, my friends had told me. But having a beautiful baby girl didn't make me any less sad about the son I'd lost. The room with blue borders I'd never use, the drawers of blankets and the onesies I'd picked out specifically for him. They were all still waiting for me when I came back home from the hospital. Some things couldn't be forgotten, even if I did love Delaney with all my heart. Michael left us when Delaney was 5. Unfortunately, he didn't go far. Less than 2 miles from here, he lived with his new wife, Samantha, and baby sons, Braxton and Brock, in a Victorian mansion they had restored. Delaney had a room there. She loved that room.